Hey there, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about front end versus back end. What side of the application does what's responsible for what thing. This is important to know because when you want to become a full stack developer, you have to know both parts and you have to know them both pretty well. But also you may find yourself eventually working in just one area, either the front end or the back end. Somebody may ask you what the difference is. And it's an important piece of being an effective developer to know, and overall, it's good information to have. Whenever I have to explain what the difference between front end and back end is to someone, I always use the analogy of an airport. What I mean by that is, let's say that you go to the airport and you walk up to the counter to the airport attendant and you say, I want a flight to Chicago. I want to go visit Chicago. What do you have? Well, then that airline employee is going to say, okay, hold on just a second. And they are going to make a request to the back end of the airport to look for flights for us. Then the back end of the airport is going to say, okay, I found a flight going to Chicago. Here is all of the information about that flight. And they send that information back to our airline employee at the counter. It is then up to the employee at the counter to relay that information to us in a meaningful way, in a way that we can understand it and make a decision on if we do or do not want to accept that flight. If we do, we tell them, great, we do, we'll take it, and we go on our way to Chicago. So in this analogy, the front end is our airline employee, the one that is making the request on our behalf, the one that is receiving the information from the back end, from the server, and is relaying that information to us in a way that we can ultimately make a decision on if we want to board that flight or not. The back end is the part that we don't see. It's the server. It is the database that has all of the flight information in it about what gate the plane will board from, what baggage claim we can pick up our bags from, when it will land in Chicago, how many people can be on the flight, how many people have already booked the flight. All of the information comes from the back end to the front end. So now let's flip back to our YouTube example that we have used in the last couple of videos. Let's say that we are on the home page of YouTube and one of the videos in our feed has sparked our interest and we want to watch it. What we do is we click on one of the thumbnails of the video and we are requesting the page for that specific video. At that point, we have sent our request to the server for a specific resource. The server then takes our request. It says, okay, give me a minute to look this over. It says, who made this request? What are they looking for specifically? What do we know about this resource that they're looking for? We're not just requesting the video itself. We're requesting what the title of the video is, how many likes that video has. We also want to know who made the video, what the channel is. Then YouTube wants to say, well, what do we know about the person that's requesting the video? What kind of ads can we put on the page to target this person? What do we want to put over on the sidebar in the suggested video feed to drive them to click on more content, get more ads, and work the system? Eventually, the server will find all of the information that it's looking for and it will return it in a response, and it'll be like, hey, here's what you're looking for, here's what you need, and it will send the information back to our browser. Our browser then has to take that information, which if you watch the last video in this series, you know that that response comes from an HTTP request, and in that response, it is instruction for our browser on how to build the web page made out of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So now our browser takes those instructions, it interprets them, and it builds the page for that specific video that we requested to watch. That wraps up this video. I hope that you found it interesting and helpful. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. I read all of my comments and I will get back to you. If you don't have a question, feel free to just drop a dad joke or maybe your favorite pizza topping down there to boost some engagement on the video. I appreciate it. Also, if you made it this far into the video and you haven't already, hit the like button. If you're interested in becoming a full stack web developer completely for free, check out the playlist on my channel. If you want access to bonus videos, coding exercises, and access to the private Discord community, check out my Patreon link in the description. In the next video, we're going to be taking a dive into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and which technology is responsible for what thing. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe so you never miss an upload. And as always, happy coding.
Have you